had a very interesting year. He's a very, very dear friend of mine, a friend of the family, and he's a healthcare administrator and consultant. Please give a rock star welcome to Mr. Reiner Roeske. Oh, I love the logo.
All right.
Nice.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you,
All
Reiner.
right. Thank you all, and welcome. Again, so nice to be here tonight. Great to see all of you. A lot of familiar faces, a lot of new faces here. Dan, Jade, Jackie, Miss everybody. Okay, listen, it's great to be here. Thank you. Craig, thanks for the opportunity. You guys, I got to tell you, though, I have a confession. I got a problem. But I'm not the only one. Y'all got a problem. We all have a problem if you're an employer today, if you're a manager, if you're a leader. Okay, I want some audience participation. I need help in identifying what the problem is. My beautiful assistant and muscular assistant, Jade, has small incentives. All right, help me out. Shout out, what do you think the #1 leadership problem in America is today? Let's just fire them out. Anybody that's willing to shout, trust, good answer. Where did I hear communication? Credibility, right here. Time management. I'm hearing good ones. Teamwork. Jay, just give it. What else? What do we got? Lack of funds. Integrity. I'm hearing all good answers. Let's some more. Come more on the sidelines. Go for the end zone. Right on. Okay. What did I hear? Qualified people. Let's give one to her and let's stop right there. You know, thank you very much for all those answers are good. And most of them are right. I don't think any of them are wrong. But the #1, let's hold right here, Jay, the #1 problem that we face in America today is lack of talent involvement. And what do we call it? Lack of employee engagement. Has anybody had an employee like that? Oh my gosh, right? Or have any of you been an employee like that? Okay, let's tell the truth. Confession is good for the soul, right? Okay, let's not be shy here tonight. 331 BC. Alexander the Great has taken on nearly the entire known world. Yet a few small strongholds remain in India. He has 100 of his choice soldiers. They're marching toward a castle on the edge of a high cliff. They get to the bottom of the castle. He shouts out to the king high on the turret, "Surrender right now, or I will take over your castle, take your subjects, and kill you." The king looks down at him. "What are you talking about? You got 100 men. I'm up here in this beautiful castle." Alexander says, "Let me demonstrate." He called his soldiers. He asked them to line up in a row facing that 1,000-foot precipice. They did so quickly and obediently. He said, "Forward march." They began to march toward the cliff. They marched closer and closer to the edge. Soon, one went over the edge, pummeled to his death. The second went over. The third went over. Not until the 11th soldier had pummeled to his death did Alexander yell, "Halt!" He called his men back together. They went back to the castle. He looked back up at the king, and he said, "King, will you now surrender?" The king was ashen and white. The king surrendered. He knew that in the face of such loyalty, of such, could we say, employee engagement, soldier engagement, he couldn't stand a chance. And as you all know, Alexander went on to conquer what was the then known world. What's an engaged employee? There's somebody that just wants to make the workplace great. They don't stop at halfway. So today, I want you to have 2 takeaways. Number 1 is, what is an engaged employee? Okay? You will be able to know how they will positively impact your organization. Number 2 is, you're going to know the 2 most important drivers that will create this engaged employee for you.
Oh, that was great.
So here's the outline. It's simple, right? We got 15 minutes. Craig didn't give me much time. We've got bad news, we've got good news, and we've got the two drivers.
Yeah.
Let's start with the bad news. We always want to get that out of the way. The bad news is employee morale has never been more low in America. Gallup poll, we trust them, right? They say that 2 out of 3 employees are disengaged in the workplace. Dan Pink, renowned researcher from Yale, says as many as 52 are disengaged, 52%. Another 18% actively disengaged, meaning they're trying to hurt the organization. That means 70% total are not helping you, are they? In fact, they're hurting you. Now, what are some of the patterns of disengaged employees? Do they show up promptly, on time, compliment you in the workplace, drive sales? No, they're terrible. And they're hard to fire, right? They're hard to get rid of. And the cost of turnover, you don't even want to fire them. What are the costs of turnover of an average employee, Gary? Thousands, 150%, some people say, of salary and benefits. Sometimes more, okay, if they do damage on the way out. Now, how many of you had a Starbucks this morning think, oh, their baristas are so nice, this is a great organization? Okay, well, I'm not dissing Starbucks. In fact, I think it's kind of cool. But their employee turnover percentage, 65%. Marianne, maybe you like Coffee Bean, 150%. Turnover is killing us. Okay, but here's the good news. It's not all doom and gloom. We've got a chance. Researchers tell us, once again from Gallup, but they're pretty good, that of the world-class organizations, actually 9 out of 10 employees are engaged because they know how to engage them. They know already the takeaway from tonight. You can engage your employees. One of the things that engaged employees do is actually create discretionary effort. Now, what's discretionary income? My friend Dan Gilbert back there, I know he has a lot of discretionary income. What is it? It's money you have left. It's extra. It's extra. Well, these employees actually give everything they've got. They give discretionary, they give 100% and more. Research has shown that that is the lever that can actually push organizations like that to drive profits 5 times as high. How many of you would like 5 times the profit of your competitor? Yeah, I hear that, right? Can I hear an amen? Amen. Amen. But here's the question. What does it take to engage these employees? How about some ideas? Appreciation, good. Money, love. Using their strengths. Performance reviews, positive recognition. Training. Okay. Okay, and now guess what? I'm looking for number 1 and 2. All of these are good. Money benefits? We all want money. We want discretionary money. Okay, but so far, none of them hit number 1 and 2. After polling 8, taking them to lunch, hey, you're getting closer. Gallup says, after interviewing 80,000 employees, that number 1 is they want to like their boss. Are you a likable boss? You look pretty good to me. All right. They want a relationship with you. Do you stop in the hallway? Do you respond to their, what they call relational bids when they ask for something? Okay, so we're going to come back to this, but number 1 is like their boss. Number 2 is, do they have a good friend at work? You guys, it's that simple. And it's that hard. Now, I did mention the other 3, and some of you mentioned these. They got to be challenged. They want purpose. And 5 is money. But money's kind of a baseline. We all know that they want to be paid fairly, okay? So what's the new saying? Employees leave bosses, not... Is that true or not? What? Yes, it's true. How many of you have had a boss like this? Can you raise your hand if you've had a good boss? Has anybody had a good boss? Okay. Now raise your other hand if you've had a bad boss. Now keep your hand up if you're sitting next to that person now. I'm kidding. Okay. None of you would do that. All right? So you're saying, okay, Jim says, I want to be that good boss. But how do I do it? Again, this isn't Reiner Roeske hocus pocus, okay? This is from our research and from our study, our metadata research that we do. Number one is a one-to-one closed-door meeting with this employee. Gary, do you appreciate it when someone pulls you into the office, when they shut out the world, when they say, Gary, I got eyes to eyes, knee to knee? It may be a spouse, it could be a friend, it could be an employer, it could be a boss. Whatever it is, they make you the priority. Okay, you said, I can do that. I'll make the time. I've got 10 direct reports. I'll try and do 2 a day. I'll get caught up. But what do I talk about? Okay, well, what's number one? You listen. You just listen. So you just say, how you doing? How are you feeling? Are you enjoying work? How are things going? And sometimes you won't get much, right? Sometimes you got to grease the wheels a little bit. You got to say, tell me the truth. I feel like I've been riding you recently, Jane. Is that become annoying? How about your coworkers over here? Tony, he can be a nutcase. He bothers a lot of us. But you grease it a little bit, you'll get loads of information. The next one is tell them they're important. Very generically, right? No, tell them they're very specifically important. Tell them, Janet, I am so proud of you. If you had not been so intuitive and anticipated the customer's need, we would have lost that sale. You're amazing. I hope you never leave. Be genuine, authentic, heartfelt. Because if you're fake, are they going to see it? Of course they're going to see it. And they'll be the first to leave. Now the third is a little risky, right? It's get personal. When I say get personal, I mean very appropriately personal. Now there's certain questions you cannot ask during the interview. But once someone asks for you, do you want to know about their personal life? Heck yeah. You want to know how many kids they have. You want to know about their significant other. If they're single, you want to know what their pains are. I think it was Lou Holtz that said, I will treat every single one of you fairly, and it will be completely different. Isn't that nice? I don't know when I have a single mother who needs her battery replaced in her car. I don't know when someone else needs a day off. I don't know when someone has cancer and needs 6-month leave. But everyone will be different. But you won't know until you ask, until you take that risk. Get personal with them. Number 4 is we want to know how we fit in the big picture. Here there's some downsizing up at corporate. How's that going to affect me? Or maybe it's just about my department. There have been a lot of changes recently. I've seen a lot of new faces. They're all younger than me. They're the millennials. They're coming after my job. But give them a sense of security. Let them know why they're important, how they fit, what the plan is for them. Number 5, a lot of us get scared about this too, right? We go, oh no, I don't dare ask them what they want. They're going to want a parking space. They're going to want mileage. They're going to want a car. But when we usually ask, what do they want? They want some pencils. They want paper. They don't want the copier to be broken all the time. They want more recognition. Do you know that 65% of employees get no recognition all year long? Shame on you, right? Shame on me. How can we expect people to continue working for us? Okay, so that was the first takeaway, and that was by far the most important. Employees leave bosses, not their job. So you've got to be a good boss. Number 2 is, and we'll keep moving quickly, an employee spends 90,000 hours at work through the course of their life. That's a long time. Do you want to spend that much time at work? Not really, right? But if you do, wouldn't you rather spend it with a good friend? Now, can you see this? It's kind of a funny picture, I don't know if you want that good a friend, okay? But this will literally ensure a positive workplace culture if you create an environment where there are activities, fun things, right? But you need to have openness, honesty. When there's conflict, what do you do about it? You let it kind of push it to the side? Never. You address conflict head on. You resolve the issues. You create a workplace culture that is fun. Those are some of the more macro issues. Steve Jobs says you can't force friendship, but you can sure facilitate it. We always do the scratch and sniff interviews. We like to take people out in a setting they're comfortable, not a fancy dinner, but something simple, over a burrito, a lunch, a something. We call it the scratch and sniff. We want to make sure they're going to like us as much as we like them. And then the last thing, again, is it's asking each other, do you have what you need to work together? Now, you know that they say 50% higher satisfaction if there's an employee at work. And I can almost to a T guarantee you, when I have a resignation, it's somebody that doesn't have a good friend. I'll ask them, well, who is your best friend here at work? They'll struggle. They can't come up with an answer. 7 times more likely to be highly engaged in their work if they have a good friend at work. Now, these are a few just traditional methods. Recognition programs, you can have employee of the month, employee of the year, things like this. You have great benefits. Everybody expects that, right? Okay? Simple food ideas, I call it. One of my favorite things is just having the ice cream bars, the churros, the tostadas, the burritos, 3 o'clock shift change. I put on an apron, I go out there, and I get to mix with the crowd. I'm sure a lot of you do that. It seems to mean the world to us, doesn't it? We want these simple things. And for sure, if you have daily meetings, man, you've got no excuse. I need some jokes. I need something funny. I need some YouTubes, okay? Whatever you do, make work fun. So there you go. Number 1 and 2. People leave bosses, not jobs. People want a good friend at work. Our mission is to train, equip, and empower leaders to change the world. We work very hard at understanding leadership, employee engagement, employee retention, and healthcare marketing. If we can ever support you in any way, we love giving keynotes, we do seminars, we love masterminds, coaching. I am certified in John Maxwell, as well as a part of NSA, and as well as several other masterminds, but of course the best one is with all of you in Rockstar.
Yeah, baby.
Thank you very much for your time. Have a great evening.
Let's hear it for Reiner Roeske. Good job, buddy. I love your logo.
Thank
Just
you very much.
a nice R.